Hi, Tracy Brown here, and I'm your spiritual coach. I want to tell you what happened to me this morning. I was sitting at my desk and just checking email, and I heard this really loud thud. Now, a little bit of background. I live in a neighborhood where at the corner there are accidents on a regular basis just because of the way the streets intersect. And so I'm real accustomed to hearing accidents, but usually there's a screeching of tires, and there's this last minute sense of panic, and then there's a loud crash and you can hear the metal. This was really a thud, and it also seemed like it was closer than the corner. So I thought, maybe I better check this out. And I got up and I looked out the window, and sure enough, there was a taxi cab that had rear-ended a parked car across the street from me. So looking at the taxi driver, he's on the phone. I'm assuming that he is calling it in to the cab company or maybe to the police, and he's observing the damage, and I assume he's waiting for someone to come out of the apartment complex who probably heard it just as I had. And I thought, well, that's really great of him. And then I noticed he got in his taxi and he backed up a little bit. And that made sense too, that he would back up so he could really see the damage, both to his vehicle and to the vehicle he hit. And just as I was having that thought, he continued to back up. And then he pulled out and went down the street. And I was in shock. Literally, for about 3 minutes, I was in shock. I did not expect him to drive away. He had not put any contact information on the car that he hit. He just drove off. So my human brain immediately kicked in. He's a bad person. How could anyone do that? Oh my goodness. I just started making up all kinds of stories about him and criticizing him. And then I heard myself and I thought, okay, wait, Tracy, wait. You are telling a story about him. You are making up a story. And it's not that I wanted to make up a good story instead of a bad story. What kicked in was my spiritual foundation of what is mine to do. It is not mine to judge this other person. It is not mine to criticize him. It's mine to say, what is it that I should be doing right here and right now? What would I want someone else to do if that car belonged to me? What would I want someone else to do if they were in a situation like that? And so I immediately wrote down what I had seen while it was fresh in my mind. And then I did a couple of things. I went and put the information on the windshield of the person's car. Not that the information I had would be especially helpful, because I couldn't identify the man. I didn't have the taxi cab number. I did not have the license number. But I still gave the owner of the car the information I did have. And I called and made a police report of a hit and run accident. And of course, included that no person was injured, but there was significant damage to the vehicle and the taxi had driven off. So if the owner of the car's insurance agent checks with the police department, at least there will be some record of the time of day, the date, that kind of thing. And that's what I could do right then and there. The third thing that I did was I stopped and I said a prayer of gratitude. Gratitude that I had observed what I had observed. Gratitude that no person was injured in this accident. And just gratitude that there are times when things happen that seem to be bad, but I believe and trust that every bad thing is leading to good in some way. So I share this with you not because I want you to say, oh, Tracy, you were so good, you did the right thing. No, please don't do that. I share it with you to remind you that when we choose to live in a way that is guided by Spirit, we are always at choice. And there is always something we can do that is good. There is always something we can do that is positive. We simply have to step ourselves out of the story. Notice when everything we're saying is about someone else, especially if it's in judgment of them, and then step into our own story, our own life, and be grateful. So just some food for thought for you. And if you would like to work with me as your spiritual coach, please check me out at tracybrownrscp.com or follow me on not on Twitter yet, but you can follow me on Facebook, facebook.com/spiritual practices.